Miraculous change coming. My heart is a drum in my chest, beating in time with a rhythm I feel echoing across the globe. For weeks the air has felt different, charged with an energy I can only describe as divine anticipation. We are approaching the 24th, a day that, for the first time in Israel's history, will see a global broadcast unlike any before. I can still hardly believe it's real. This article isn't a political speech or a religious sermon. It's a direct, unfiltered call to the nations to prepare for the entrance of the Messiah. As a woman of faith, I've always held this truth close to my heart. But witnessing it unfold in such a public and historical way feels both overwhelming and deeply personal. I've spent my life preparing in my own quiet way, but this broadcast feels like the sound of trumpets announcing the final stage of a journey we have all been on. It's a call to spiritual readiness, a reminder that we must be prepared for the Messiah's arrival, not just in our actions, but in the depths of our souls. The central message is a simple yet profound call to repentance. To some, that word might sound heavy, even frightening, carrying the weight of judgment. But to me, it's the most beautiful invitation in the world. Repentance isn't about being shamed for your past mistakes. It's about acknowledging them, turning away from them, and actively seeking to make things right with God. It's a cleaning of the slate, a spiritual resetting. It's the necessary preparation to meet our Creator with a pure heart and an open spirit. The transformative power of repentance is a beacon of hope, guiding us towards a new and purer life. I can already see the beginning of the massive change this will usher in. The world has been in such a state of chaos, confusion, and division. But the promise of this broadcast is a new era, one of unity and spiritual alignment. It's the final call to get our house in order before the guest of honor arrives. My prayer is that people everywhere, regardless of their background or current belief system, will feel this call in their hearts. That they will pause, listen, and take that first step towards a new and purer life. This event is not the end, but the glorious beginning of a new chapter for all of humanity. And in this, my soul rejoices. My heart has felt a familiar pull to the Kotel, the Western Wall. After several years away, a new season in my life, I felt compelled to return, not just as a tourist, but as a pilgrim on a different kind of quest. I wanted to see if I could find the sacred not just in a place, but in the people, to see if the generosity and kindness of men could truly reflect the love God has for His children. My journey began with a nightmare of a transit experience. The bus, a challenge on a good day, became a test of the heart. The disregard for older people, people with disabilities, and mothers with strollers was a shock to the senses. I sat in my wheelchair, buckled in, watching people push and shove, each one an island unto themselves. It was a painful sight, a world away from the quiet kindness I'd hoped to find. I thought to myself, how can a place be holy if the people moving towards it don't carry that holiness in their actions? And then the sirens came, a piercing wail that sent a ripple of panic through the bus. Not one asked if I needed help. In that moment of abandonment, a profound stillness settled over me. It was just me and the Lord. I knew He had not forgotten me. As the Spirit quickened me, I lifted my hand and began to pray. I wasn't asking for protection, but rather speaking to the Master of the universe, the Creator. The prayer flowed from my soul, a quiet word against a loud world. When I finished, I noticed a man across the aisle, his eyes fixed on me in silent amazement. My faith was not a secret in that moment, and in his gaze, I saw a reflection of the awe I've always felt for God's presence. In the midst of the chaos and fear, a stranger had seen a flicker of divine love, and in that, I found the kindness I had been seeking. When we finally arrived at the Kotel, The atmosphere was a mix of pilgrimage and social gathering. People greeted friends, families chatted, and the air was filled with a sense of community more than a sense of divine presence. I watched as some made their way to the wall, bowing in prayer with their books, but it often felt perfunctory, a ritual more than a genuine connection. The men were in their section, the women in theirs, and a great divide was felt, not just physically, but spiritually as well. The hope for a transcendent experience gave way to a quiet disappointment. The truth, as I've come to understand it, is that God doesn't dwell just in stone. As I reflect on it all now, I see that the true revelation of the day was not at the wall itself, but on the bus ride there. The holiest place was not the kotel, but the space where I sat and prayed, where God answered in the midst of the storm, and where a stranger witnessed it all. My experience taught me that the search for grace and kindness in men and the love of God is not found in grand sacred places, but in the small, quiet moments of life where we least expect it. It is in our hearts that we truly find Him. This journey has not only deepened my faith, but also opened my eyes to the unexpected ways in which God's love and grace manifest in our lives. Written by Bo Charles, read by Cheryl Remington.